fee or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our cares team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening, folks? Today, we have a topic of the day, and that is, what do you do when you need to apply for a visitor visa after I-130? How do you come to America if you already filed the I-130? Or better yet, if you're not even married yet, but you think you found the right match, should you even consider filing for a visitor visa? Is the immigration process fast enough where you don't have to apply for a visitor visa? Those are questions that you might have, especially when you're getting ready to tie the knot, okay? Put that ring on the finger, okay? So these are important considerations that normally you may not have considered before, especially other folks. So sorry for being late today. I had a lot of team meetings today that need to be earlier today. So I'm going to be on for exactly 25 minutes. All right. Here to answer your questions. Let's see what else. What's up? So if you want to spend some time with us here on the live show, welcome to greencardguys.tv. Here to point you right direction, answer your immigration questions. Now, please know I'm always willing and happy to share information, but in some scenarios, depending on the question, it may be very broad of a question about immigration that is like some people ask, how do I get sponsored? That's more like a webinar. It's not really a live show because that's more of like a lecture. And I don't want to be here lecturing y'all, okay? If I had to lecture y'all about something right now, do not get married for fake reasons, okay? It's got to be a bona fide marriage, okay? A real, legit marriage, okay? Legit does not mean just because you got a marriage certificate. That's easy. You just, in Texas, you pay like $82 for the marriage license. But all seriousness, drop your questions in the comment section or share your experience with the community here. Happy to point you in the right direction. So let's get down to it. The topic of the day is essentially, when do you apply for a visitor visa, or do you even need to apply for a visitor visa when you have a significant other? I go straight to the point. I think that's why a lot of y'all appreciate our channel here. We only recommend applying for visitor visa when you are not married yet, okay? You're not married, then I would apply for ESTA if your country of nationality is eligible for it. ESTA, it's like electronic something, travel authorization, basically a visa waiver, okay? Register for that if your country nationality is eligible for it. Not every country is. If you're not eligible for that, if your country's not, then apply for the DS-160. That is the online form for the visitor visa. B1, B2 is what they call it. You can call it a tourist visa, whatever you want to Google search. We're going to have a webinar about that. Our law firm at Ting Law Group, immigration law firm here in Houston, Texas. We have a physical office, by the way, with over 300 five-star reviews because we care about customer service to help you get your legal status. All right. So if you have questions about that, drop it in the comment section. I'll get to it very soon. But here's why. You might be wondering, like, well, shoot, John, I'm already married. I'm not going to tell you not to try, but especially if you're budget conscious, if you're limited on funds, okay, and you're already married, and maybe even you didn't file the I-130 yet, it does not matter, because by the time you get to the interview, okay, first of all, by that point, you're already married. I would hope you already filed your I-130, okay? But let's say you have not filed I-130. Most likely, can't say for everyone. Maybe you really have really good charm somehow. But if you don't have that magical charm in to get that visa for visitor visa, even though you're married, then most likely you're going to get it refused, okay? And the reason why is because they believe, which is reasonable for them to assume this, that if you're married to a U.S. citizen or even a resident and you are going to visit the United States, that there's a likelihood that you're going to overstay your visa in the United States because the numbers The data tells us that. There's a lot of people who overstay their visa. If you get married to a U.S. citizen, it technically doesn't matter because it waives the overstay. So the terms and conditions are visitor visa. But don't come here, by the way, if you don't have a significant other, you're not married. Like if y'all aren't serious, and because some of y'all come to US with a visitor visa or ESTA and you overstay, but you have no game plan, I don't recommend that because some people contact us and say, "Oh shoot, John, I entered like 5 years ago. I didn't have a game plan." Well, you still need a game plan, and most of y'all don't want to get married to a U.S. citizen because it's hard to find the right match. I get it. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. But here's the deal: don't overstay if you can help it. Okay. So I'm here to tell you also that I share a lot of information. It's legal information. If you want specific advice for your situation and you're not interested in our services, all good, all gravy. It's still our pleasure to assist you any way we can. That could be in the form of a free guide, a free exclusive webinar invite. Okay, we're going to do that once a month. Um, and also, yeah, that's really a paid consultation. Okay, like a traditional consultation with one of our attorneys. You can pay for it. It's 3 digits. I can't say it out loud because this platform doesn't allow me to. But you can go to our website, greencardguys.com, or go to our profile page. So um, you'll see that link, ZAAP. You'll see that link under my picture, profile picture. But if you know you want legal services, our legal advice from one of our attorneys is included with our package. Okay. So we just cut straight to the chase because you might have already experienced this where you pay for a consult to speak to a lawyer with about immigration or something else, and you're like, shit, I don't think I actually learned anything from that, right? And that's because, honestly, folks, that's because with the ethics in Texas, at least, and I'm sure other states, if we give you legal advice in a consultation, but you don't hire the law firm, but you use that information and do your own thing, right? But you do something wrong or the government does something wrong in your case and you come back to blame the law firm, that's why lawyers generally are a little hesitant to provide advice. Just putting that out there. A lot of people don't know that. But so that's why if you already know you're interested in our services and want to authorize our team, Ting Law Group, just go ahead and sign up. Not trying to pressure anyone, but this is a reality. And then the onboard meeting, one of them in the first week is with one of our attorneys. Okay. Um, now to so here going to the thing because here's the deal. Now going back to the topic of the day, I can recall at least one client, and some of y'all have mentioned here on the live show that you're already married, whether or not you filed a petition, but then you filed the visitor visa application, DS-160 online, and then you got denied at the interview. And then we've had a client that decided to hire us because they realized they don't know the process. And they thought that contacting or applying for visitor visa again was the answer. And they got denied at least 2 or 3 times. And then they realized, okay, we need to talk to a lawyer. We need to hire a law firm. And so that's what they did. Um, so as much as you want to research yourself, there's going to be a coming time that you might really need to consider authorizing a law firm. Okay, so of course everyone has a different budget. I get it, but you have to really understand the different scenarios. Um, so one of them, another one is when you have like a notice of intent to deny or RFE, you really should call a lawyer because you have limited time. There's a deadline to respond to USCIS, and you just don't want to waste the opportunity because if you miss a deadline, then what's the other option? You got to refile the application, really, or you have to file a motion to reconsider, which I don't recommend that if a person did not respond to the RFE or NOID, because that's how they're going to respond when you file that appeal. They can say, well, you didn't respond earlier, so why are you filing appeal, right? So with that being said, that's more government fees that could be wasted. We don't want to waste your fees. We got to get it done the right way. All right, so that's why I'm here in the live show, point you in the right direction. All right, let me respond in reverse order on YouTube because I know some of y'all commented earlier. I didn't have the show on earlier. So Madison on YouTube, do you guys deal with criminal waivers for spouses? Yes, we do. But you might know, Madison, that it's very specific crimes or convictions where it's are eligible and some are not eligible for a waiver. And waivers in general are a crappy thing because they take a long time. Okay, it depends on which one you're referring to. I believe you're referring to the 601. All right, Mishka, your green card has a wrong residency date. The date you returned from vacation, not the date of first entry. Um, so it's not the date from entry. Well, it would be the date of entry per se, if you have a consular, if you got your status through consular processing. But I don't know, why would it have the date of vacation? That is interesting. I don't know, how would they know that? You're wondering, will this affect you when you're naturalized? Um, I think they will be confused. And let's say you apply for N400 in the future to become a U.S. citizen, they would be confused. But I'm wondering why they had your vacation date. That is weird. Yeah, they do give some. I mean, I've even had a situation where USCIS put the country of nationality on the resident card, put USA. That is ridiculous. Um, so we had to essentially submit a form online, uscis.gov, tools and resources, submit inquiry, e-inquiry or something, and then submit it, and try that way. And then ultimately, I don't want to say wasted time, but try to do it a way where didn't have the client didn't have to pay extra additional government fee for government error. But ultimately, we had to file the I-90. So you might need to do that, Mishka. File I-90, but try to submit inquiry first, especially if it's government error. And I think there's actually a box that says that has that option. Let me see if I can find that real quick. E-request, and I can show you. Okay, let me share my screen here. Here we go. All right, folks on TikTok, you might be wondering, what am I sharing or how do I see what John's sharing? You would have to go to greencardguys.tv to check this out. I'm sharing right now for Mishka's purposes the case inquiry e-request on the USCIS website. USCIS provided the wrong date, residence issuance date. So this one right here, typographical error. So it's not government error necessarily, but typographical error. Okay, so check that out. Let me see if I can copy and paste this for you. Okay, Mishka. There we go. All right, hopefully that goes through for you. All right, in the meantime, let me answer some questions on TikTok. What's going on? By the way, on TikTok, they sometimes hide some comments. So don't worry, I can see them and I'll approve it, of course. I don't know why. So, hey, Chrissy, what's up? So, how long is considered stuck? It depends on the type of case and what stage you are in the case. Is it marriage case? Are you abroad? Are you in the United States for AOS? Please let me know, and I'll try to find your other comment, Chrissy. Um, so please know, especially it's a little, I love to do a live show, but sometimes a live show is difficult in the sense because, especially on TikTok, because got a lot of questions here. Wonderful. Sometimes a lot of times I ask follow-up questions, and it's difficult for me to find it since this thing's stacked. Y'all might be better at this than me, live doing a live show, conducting it. But yeah, I'm wondering if you could do it on the browser on the computer. That would make it a lot easier to see all the questions. But yeah, Chrissy, and anyone wondering like, how long do you need to wait? How many months? And then do I to know when to file a lawsuit? Again, it depends on the case, depends on the stage of the case. But the best thing to do if you don't know is to send us a message, especially if you're on TikTok. It's a lot easier. Send us a DM or just call us. Okay, call us and our team will tell you because we don't like if you just filed your case 2 months ago. I mean, I don't think there's any application that has the expectation to get it done in 2 months' time, right? So, but with that being said, even if you filed 2 months ago, you're still wondering, like, just trying to get ready, put on your calendar type deal of when to, then give us a call. Our team's happy to share. Okay, Mikey, what's going on with the F2A chart? Well, let's take a look. If you're talking about the filing chart, then let's see here. Visa bulletin. I just had it pulled up earlier. So let me add it to the YouTube page at least on Facebook. F2A, is that what you're referring to? Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous in general the past couple years. The F2A. And if anyone's wondering what is John and Mikey talking about here, uh, F2A is just one of the family preference categories. And you have to look at this Visa bulletin, the chart that's about the essentially wait time when the visa is available. And this is essentially like part two of the whole process. If you could just have it in two different parts. Okay, so if you're talking about chart B, is that what you're talking about, Mikey? Then that's referring to right now. It shows, I mean, May bulletin, I think, shows September 2023. So, Mikey, are you in the U.S.? Then that's when you're looking. That's when you're really focused on chart B. Okay, so it says September 2023. Let me go down to the next one, June bulletin. It also says September 2023. So there's clearly some kind of ridiculous backlog that probably should not be happening. Usually there's more of a retrogression when it's like the end of the fiscal year. So that could be September. Yeah, so usually September because that's the last month of the fiscal year that the government uses. But right now, I don't know. It's ridiculous why it's staying put. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, on TikTok, hi, HY. If you're on H1B visa and you just got laid off, can switch back to B1, B2, and switch back to H1B. You can, especially you know that you have a grace period of 6 days, 60 days or less. You want to do that ASAP, especially if you don't think, and these, yeah, you can switch back again. So, but of course, I would only do that if you don't have, what do you call? You don't have a potential sponsor. That might be, yeah. So last worst case scenario. Gum. Can a work permit holder be a household member, A64, because you filed tax together? So it's very limited situations where you can do that. Let me see if I can pull that up right here. A64. Yeah, because that's a household member form. Yeah, you definitely need to have work authorization. So that's what you've mentioned here. And yeah, if you are the immigrant gum, then yes, you can also that's part of this case. Intending immigrant, then yeah, you can also file 864. Okay, hopefully that does help you point you in the right direction. Okay, New York '04. Your asylum is admin closed. Congrats. You're a arriving alien. Can you adjust status? Well, I don't handle asylum. The only thing I handle with asylum is mandamus lawsuits when the you haven't had an interview or decision in at least 4 years. Interview in at least 4 years. Um, Usually, this arriving alien question is an issue to adjust status when it's something else. But when it's asylum, I would think most people would be categorized as arriving alien. But I could be wrong. Um, but when someone becomes an asylee, then you can apply the just status like the next day, basically. Fortunately, so you want to check with asylum attorney about that. Okay. But by the way, New York 04 on TikTok. So even though your asylum case is admin closed in court, you want to make sure that your case is still processing and not affected by it being admin closed. Essentially, so you can get the EAD also, continue to get that. Because I know when it's dismissed from the court, that's even better because you definitely don't have to show up in the future, at least until someone commits a crime again in the future, or not again, but a reason for to get put back into immigration court. But then in that situation, when a case is dismissed from court, then you need to essentially submit the same application to the new service center. Okay, HART service center. Yeah, Mikey, it's ridiculous. Um, Myra, how long after biometrics is the EAD taking after AOS? Some people, like, we just had some really great news. We filed a case for a client about 2 months ago, 2 to 3 months ago, and just got approved yesterday for a green card. So in that sense, that client didn't even get the EAD because the green card was approved. The green card case was approved so fast, right? And this is 2024, okay? Filed the case in 2024, and got it approved in 2024. So it's still working, and there's no interview, okay? And I like to credit my team for everything they do. So if you're listening, thank you for what you do. But we have, again, a proven checklist. We just have a proven process to get this done for you. Some of y'all is just waiting and waiting. I don't know what you're waiting for. The fees already went up. So ultimately, you still need to file. And look, right now is May 30th. It's about to be June. November election is coming soon. I'm not trying to do fear tactic like politicians, but in all seriousness, you truly don't know who the new president's going to be. And unfortunately, when there's anytime there's a new president, for better or worse, there's always new policy changes with the government with respect to immigration. It just always happens, positive or negative, or even both. Depends on the situation. So if you're especially folks that you're married and you've been married for quite a long time already, and your spouse for some reason is not, you gotta encourage your spouse, okay? Because if they're not the immigrant, they're less likely to consider your immigration status. I don't know why, but it would make sense that they would. But also, the other situation is when um, you're not married yet, right? And so some people contact us and wondering, like, I don't know, should I do the marriage visa pathway or fiance visa? I'll tell you straight right now, as of right now, still do the marriage pathway. Okay. So I know some people prefer the fiance visa pathway because they're like, well, we haven't lived together kind of deal. Like, um, I don't know. I mean, even if you go the fiance pathway, you still got to spend a lot of money. So um, I know it's tough to find the right person. It truly is a concern. But you really have to think about that, okay? Because time is of the essence to get this done. All right. Hayan Pharma. Can you file AOS for your spouse and daughter? Can you, while you have an I-130? Hmm? What do you mean you have the I-130 and 45 pending as well for you? Um, Depends who's your sponsor. Does another family member sponsor you, like one of your parents? Is that what you mean? Like, what do you? Maybe I'm a little confused on how you asked while you have your own case ongoing. Maybe you meant to rephrase it a different way, but I'll give you some time. All right. While you rephrase that question, then I will answer another question here. Okay, I got a couple minutes left here. I'll try to be on time tomorrow. I might try to go online tonight. We'll see. So if you're wondering, I'm not able to answer your question. Most likely not able to answer all of y'all. Wait a minute, I would know I won't. Just go ahead and give it a follow because when I do go live, sometimes I go at night. Um, Usually don't go live on YouTube at night. Just make it exclusive for y'all down on this platform. Go ahead and give it a follow. Okay, let's see here. Okay, hi on Farmer. You're the parent of a U.S. citizen. So the 485 is a separate application. So if your spouse and daughter are included as a derivative, then they don't need an I-130. I just don't. No, that's not how it works. I could be wrong, but are you in the US? If you're in the US, then you could be eligible for 45. So if you're eligible for 45, um, but you are a parent of US citizens. So okay, so you have a you have a son or daughter over 21 filing for you, so that would be immediate relative. Okay. So if that's the case, no, your adult child cannot sponsor your spouse as well. That doesn't work that way. So you would, after you get your residency, then you can sponsor your spouse and your child separately. Okay. And then when you file for your as a resident file for your spouse and your daughter and your spouse is essentially one application. Okay, but that's only one application when you're a permanent resident. So it's a strategy call. Okay, because if and when you're eligible to apply to become a U.S. citizen, it converts the category. So when that happens, that would force you or require you to apply a separate petition on behalf of your daughter. So it takes a lot of strategy that most people don't consider, that we're happy to provide in the very beginning as early as possible. So that way you have a better idea when you should apply to become a U.S. citizen, or maybe not, because it depends. As Mikey on TikTok asked about F2A category, whatever's happening right now could change 6 months from now or a year from now. Who knows, unfortunately. I hope I was able to answer your question. All right. Let's see. But back to Myra's question on how long after biometrics is the EAD taking for AOS. I know I mentioned earlier that a success story that we got the case approved in less than 3 months. But let's say the main application 485 is not approved in that amount of time. Can't promise for you. Don't know your situation, but let's say it takes longer. Then generally speaking, USCIS is supposed to issue a decision and mail that card before, uh, way before the residency, typically or traditionally. So in that sense, it could be 2 to 3 months after biometrics. Alrighty, let's see here. Santiago, do advanced parolees in get denied entry? Is that common? Fortunately, knock on wood here, we haven't had a client get denied entry after having AP approved. Okay, I think that's what you're asking. Seeing you just applied for advanced parole. How long till approval? I have no idea. I don't track that timing myself on a general basis. I would suspect 3 to 5 months. No name. Can your citizenship mother petition for you? You have DACA and 30 years old. Um, your mother is a U.S. citizen, so file for you. That would be a family preference case. Okay. So with that being said, depending on country nationality, it could take longer than others for the long run. But look, when it's a family preference category, you've got to make sure that so you could apply for AP through DACA, but that might not solve your problem. Okay, no name, and that is that you need to have a waiver. Eventually, when your petition is approved, you need to apply for a waiver, most likely. Okay, because you got two issues here. Oh, I mean, you did mention it here on your parentheses here, but assuming you don't have legal entry, okay, then you need to show you have legal entry in one way. Um, well, the other thing is that it's family preference, so you need to maintain status by the time you file 40. If you were to file 45, but based on the limited facts you provided right now, You cannot, you should not file the 485, and that you should apply for a waiver after your petition is approved. And because your mother is a U.S. citizen, your mother has legal status, she would be considered a qualifying relative on the 601A form. It's the provisional family unity waiver form. Okay. Fortunately, a parent or spouse, resident or U.S. citizen, count as a qualifying relative, but children do not count as a qualifying relative if they have legal status. Okay. So I know I say things fairly quickly. It's the nature of the live show. So if you are interested in our services, don't be shy. It'd be a pleasure. Contact us on here. Go to the profile page. Go ahead and give it a follow if you don't mind. And then when you're ready, no rush, click on it later on. And there's a link called zaap.bio and then / my name or green card guys, whatnot. And just answer a form. Not too many questions. And then you get redirected for this amount. Okay, it's a reservation fee. Hate doing it, honestly, but there's been a few bad apples that fill out the form, join us live show, and then didn't show up to the meeting. So it takes time from others from actually who want our services. So we really appreciate your request, but please show up to the meeting. Really important. Let's see here. I can answer a couple more. Uh, Isa on YouTube, Hassan, how long do you have to wait after doing the interview? You were told which interview? Where was the interview? Abroad or in America? You were told that you were going to get it back, and is based on marriage base. I have a feeling this is based. Your question is, or your interview was in the U.S. So adjustment of status, is that what you had? I mean, generally less than a month. Okay, in America. Thanks for confirming. So generally less than a month. Knock on wood. We've been had great results, so we usually get it in than 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. Like someone we did a mandamus action. We actually didn't even have to do a mandamus. It was in Texas, so we are able to do what we call our goal plan, contact the U.S. attorney before even filing for mandamus lawsuit, and it worked. Fortunately, she was able to, whatever it was, I mean, they were able to get a second interview. Okay. Some people require an interview because maybe the file is pending so long, and then he got approved the same day. All right. So it just depends on the situation, unfortunately. I don't know what's going on. Every field office is different, but hopefully that gives you an idea. Hopefully you haven't been waiting a month already. Sean, you think your petition is stuck on TikTok? Your father did file the petition in 2020, and online now it's been reviewed. Yeah, that daggum status online, it's not accurate. Okay, the only thing I know is accurate is when they received your case. So the first status you would see, and then the last one, decision mailed or approved. I believe it says decision mailed. I don't think it says like or notice mailed. I don't recall it saying like approved, but that would be great if it does. But yeah, petition by itself, Sean, I suspect that this is a family preference case. So you're abroad outside the US. Um, but family preference petitions do take longer than you would think, but 2020, right now, 2024, I don't know why I was about to say 2025. That'd be crazy. But yeah, 2024 is at least 4 years pending. Something's wrong. Okay. Something could be wrong. Let's check on it. Let us know if you need help. All right, viral clips. Latam, can you send an I-130 45 as spouse of permanent resident? You're in the U.S. until August. What options do you have to stay in the U.S. legally? You know what? This is interesting because if the thing is, well, the short answer is no, you cannot. You could if things lined up correctly. So even if you're able to change status and maintain your non-immigrant status in the U.S., which would be great, it'd be great. Let's say you're able to do that. You're able to change a J1, F1, whatever it is, or you find a company to sponsor you. Wonderful. With that all being said, as Mikey on TikTok asked about the F2A category, that viral clips Latam on YouTube, That would be your category if your spouse is a permanent resident. So, with that being said, when I checked 10, 15 minutes ago, the I checked this month bulletin, June bulletin, and the May bulletin, making sure my months are correct, is still stuck. Well, let me see. Let me look at the other thing. Let me hold what I was about to say. Let me check real quick because what I checked for Mikey earlier was the date chart B. But if we're looking at chart A, let's just verify here. Ah, chart A is worse. But yeah, you would say like you would try to do it in America, then that'd be chart B. And chart B for F2A category, okay, Latam. If that's how you pronounce your name, something like that. My bad. So it shows September 2023. Let me share it here. So for people who are in the U.S. and eligible for adjustment of status, even if it is a family preference and sponsored by a permanent resident, you follow Chart B. Okay, that's right now. It's been like that for at least 2 years, I believe. So anyway, or ever since Biden was in office. So Chart B, and I mean I don't know what country you're national of, but um, you follow. I mean, even actually just across the board for any country. They have working on prior date September 2023. So hypothetically, for Latam, if you file now, I mean, it hasn't moved in at least several months. So the date, I mean, this whole chart right here is a priority date. So I have a video on YouTube about reading and understanding visa bulletin. So I can't do that all right now, but hypothetically, you'll have to wait another 6 months to a year just for the second part. So I don't know. I don't know if I would go through I don't want to say call it the hoopla of trying to change status. Like if it becomes a financial restraint or restrictive in that sense, or you can't find a company to sponsor you. I just try not to stress out. There's a lot going on. I know for everyone's situation because even if you get that and you're able to get approved for a non-immigrant visa, that's great to let you stay here, but you would not file if people are here in America with legal status, not immigrant status, but you're sponsored by a resident. I would not file the 45 until your priority date shows current. So yeah, let's say your priority date is September 2023. Then great, go ahead and file your 45. Okay, but otherwise, you might be wasting your government fees on that. All right. A lot of great questions. So there's a really great examples of you got to tune in, you got to follow because depending on your question, I might be dropping some gems here. Okay, hope that helps. The question here: should you send I-130 and try to come back as a tourist? So if you have, like I mentioned at the top of the show, if you already have tourist visa, which I mean, it sounds like you do here in the U.S., then and it's still valid, then I would say go ahead and file I-130. Okay, but if you look, especially if your spouse just got status from someone else or some other way, and maybe they got divorced, and with that being said, your spouse can't become a citizen for another 5 years, essentially, assuming let's say your spouse just got it recently, okay, residency. And then so the strategy there, in my opinion, is just go file a petition. But if it's a situation where your spouse is literally about to become citizen, then maybe you wait for it. Okay. Um, but also the other consideration, okay, is that if your visitor visa is about to expire and you're not married yet, so the same information from earlier, then I would go ahead and renew your visitor visa. But so hopefully that waits. Yes, you gotta wait 4 years. So that's what I was thinking. I just hate for a situation that your visitor visa is about to expire. When I say about, like let's say within a year, and then you go ahead and file a petition, but you got to renew your visitor visa. They might give you some problems. Okay, I mean I know they will. A lot of people tell us that. So it's just a numbers game. It's just the data proves it. Shows the data shows to U.S. Visa officers that people are most likely going to overstay. So why would they issue a new visa in that sense? So hopefully that gives you some context on timing wise. Okay, good luck to you. By the way, folks, if you appreciate the way we share information If you don't mind, we really appreciate your feedback. So if you want to share your experience, and especially if you talked to one of our team members before, go to reviewtinglaw.com. We greatly appreciate it. We also have a community on Facebook. Okay, www.tinglawclub.com. Join the club, folks. So we want to provide more value there. Okay, tinglawclub.com. Now that's a Facebook group. So, if you don't have Facebook, it's all good. But for those that do, go ahead and join the community there. We'll welcome you. All right, let's see here. I can answer one more question. I gotta go. All right, I'll try to join live tonight. No promises though, but let's see here. Let's see here. Swea, you got an RFE on your citizenship application N400, asking you for extra documents since you stay more than 180 days. Is that what you're talking about? 180 days from what? Are you talking about the continuous physical presence or being outside the U.S. for more than 180 days? Oh, wait, wait. No, you're talking about 180 days. So I think, are you talking about, um, I'm trying to think, 180, there's all these like timing periods. It's all in my head, right? So proving 180 days. You might have to, so yeah, if you don't mind sharing more information on, you may have in the follow-up question here, but you DM us, we greatly appreciate it. So I can make sure. Okay, so all right. One more question. All right, one more question here. So I'm just randomly picking here. Angela. Angela asked, your husband's case, 601A, has been transferred back and forth like 3 times already. Yeah, that's stupid. I mean, I just don't understand. But I do understand to some extent. They're trying to say case, they're just like depending on the number of cases per service center. But like, look, I mean, they just need to hire more people and provide better training. So by Angela, you said you submitted in 2022. It's 2022. So yeah, almost 3 years, right? Three, four. Uh, um, well, that's maybe 2 years. Unless I get almost 2 years. So normally I'd wait at least 36 months. So 3 years. I know it sucks, Angela. You're in Texas. Okay. 3 years. But folks, if you are interested and wondering if your case has been delayed to the extent that you can be eligible or qualified to file a mandamus lawsuit, and you're not sure of timing, it's all good. It's all good. We've come up with our own chart to understand the timing when it's proper. Of course, we're going to go as early as we can, but whatever you want to achieve in your life, freedom to do practice any religion you want, freedom to just get in the car anytime you want. I know some places you have curfew, just you can't even leave your house, especially in pandemic like California. But no, in all seriousness, other countries will have pretty restrictive. So if you just want more freedom in general, um, you might want to consider a mandamus lawsuit. But Angela, I think right now, if my math is correct, it's 2 years. I mean, I don't know which month you filed, but yeah, DM us, contact us. Don't be shy, okay? I know there's a lot of questions. I really would love to answer it. If I could go live all day and answer your questions, that's my dream job. But my team's not gonna like that. They want me to train them, so I train my team every day. Really appreciate it. You have a great day, and see you tonight or tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye. Peace. Do follow, share. Thank you. Peace.